Hi everybody. So in this video, uh, I want to follow up on the previous video of my initial impressions of the ProLiant ML350 Gen 9 server. Um, I have I've installed a temporary virtual machine with Windows on it to run it under load. And I left it on for a couple of days to check the stability of the server. And now we can log in and check what's going on. So let me just pull this up. Okay. So here it's been running for a couple of days under load. So as you can see, it is drawing 154 watts right now, and the temperatures are good. We have a CPU that's under load, that's running at 63 degrees right now, and the VRM module, well, the VRM section over here is at 68 degrees, and the caution temperature is 115. So we have hard drive control is at 56 degrees, which is normal. And the fans are at 6, 12, 12, and 6. Now it does rev up to, let's say, up to 20% or so, occasionally for like a half a minute or so. But keep in mind, this is under full load on 6 cores. So let's log into this thing. Here it is. So as we can see, the CPU is at 100% and the memory utilization is at 81%. So I allocated 24 gigabytes out of the 32 gigabytes to this test virtual machine, and I allocated 6 threads to this virtual machine. It's been up for almost 2 days now. And let's check this virtual machine. Here it is. It's running Prime 95. As you can see here, it started on February 16th at 1900 hours. This is Pacific time. This is not the correct time zone, but it's okay because, well, I didn't change the time zone in the middle of the test. So it's been running close to a day and a half right now. As of now, it's February 18th. 11 o'clock in the morning, according to the server's clock. So it's been running to almost 2 days nonstop at blend. This is not small FT. This runs like every test that this program is capable of. Here's the uptime and here's the utilization. And as you can probably see, well, not see, but I mean here, uh, it does not sound very loud. It doesn't. I mean, I'm sitting right next to it, and it's not loud at all. It's a little bit louder than idle, where the fans are at 6% each. Right now, at maximum load, it is at 12%, which is just fine. It's a really, considering the fact that it's under maximum, what what could be considered as a synthetic unrealistic load. Uh, this is perfectly fine as a lab server where you don't need to hide it in the basement or somewhere in a garage where it would bother you. So here's this update, and it does rev up when it boots before it does thermal calibration. So I'm going to try to illustrate that. We can go ahead and shut down this program, exit that, and there our load is down. Could go ahead and shut down this VM. Not restart, not restart. Shut down. So now the load is gone. It's back to 67% power draw. Fans are back to 6%. And I would like to just try and show you guys what it sounds like when it first boots up. So I'm going to take off my microphone, put it next to the server, so that way you can actually. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but it should give like a rough idea of what this thing sounds like now and what it sounds like when it's booting up. And then let me open up this ILO, and I would like to overview and HTML5. I think this should stay there. Okay, so I showed the boot process and the temperature, the fan speed. The temperature, it's not going to get hot, but let me try to make this there. It's nice and squished now. So we can see it boot up, and let's go ahead and reboot it. So no virtual machines is running, so I'm not going to put it in maintenance mode. I'm just going to go ahead and reboot. There it goes, and I'm going to put the microphone in the exhaust of the server. All right, so as you probably noticed, it was not reporting the accurate uh, speed of the fans during the post. So right after it finished post and started booting the operating system, it reported about 35% on a couple of the fans and 20 something percent, I believe, on the other fans. So that's how it sounds like at a roughly 35% fan speed. Now, since it wasn't reporting the speed of the fans the entire time, I do have a way of getting the fans to rev up a little bit. We can go here and and I notice this behavior if I try to thick provision a virtual disk, it will rev the fan. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to make a quick virtual machine and create a new virtual machine. Let's say test. And Windows Server 2019. And what I'm going to do, all of this is irrelevant. Let's make it 150 gigabytes. And what I would like to do is I want to thick provision eagerly zeroed. Now that will rev up the fans because this particular SSD gets pretty hot under load. I'm not sure why it doesn't get too hot when, let's say, you're zeroing it out through something like Parted Magic when you're doing disk dump to zero out the drive. But when when you do this particular operation, it does rev up. So Uh, and if I would put my hand on the SSD, it does get warm to the touch, maybe like 60 degrees, something like that. So I think the BIOS or the BIOS of the server senses that and tries to cool down the SSD by revving up the fans a little bit. So we can go ahead and proceed with that. And finish. I'll be deleting this VM anyway. So I'm going to put my microphone in the back of the server and we can monitor the speed of the fans here. So there's that. It's gonna slow since it finished the operation. It will slowly wind down. So this should give a good idea of the sound of it. Now, when it was right in the back of the server, the microphone, the microphone probably went much louder than it actually is when you're sitting from over here. But now, since the fans were at about 30% and I put the microphone here, it may give you a better impression about uh, how loud it actually is if you're sitting next to it and not have your ear directly in the back of this machine. Now, if it worked at about 30-ish% all the time, you would not be able to sit in the same room with this thing all day. It would not, it would not be a pleasant experience. It would be very, very annoying. But since, as you can see, most of the time it's relatively quiet, unless it's doing something. Not even when the processors and the memory is under full load, but the actual SSD. And I think it's this particular SSD that I have. I'm going to make another video about it next, right after this one. But even right now, when it stopped this operation, it went to a more or less normal temperature. I mean, everything is a lower temperature all over because the fans were just spinning pretty fast. So it'll gradually go down to 6%. I think it's right about there. So when it's at less than 10%, uh, can't really hear it. Um, it's not something that would bother you unless you're sleeping. It depends on how sensitive you are to things. But I had it on at maximum load at 6, 12, 12, and 6 here, and I wasn't. You could hear it, but it's not something that would be completely distracting. So I think I'll leave this video at that, and the next video, I'm just going to also kind of benchmark this SSD in the server. And that's it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope this was useful to somebody. Have a good one and see you in the next one.